So, who is a disciple? Sa Acts 11:26, sabi doon, and when he had found him, he brought him to Antioch. And for an entire year, they met the church and taught considerable numbers. And the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. So Christians are disciples and vice versa. As we have said, there are two distinct names or parang katawagan, Christian and a disciple. Who is a disciple and who is a Christian? A Christian and a disciple are both living in one person. They are both followers of Christ. So sa binasa natin, the Christians, the followers of Christ were first called Christians in Antioch. Sabi dito, Christians are disciples and vice versa. There are three instances that the follower of Christ were called Christians. First is in Acts, as we have read, and second is in what's this? Acts 26:28, wherein Paul is telling to King Agrippa. Then Agrippa replied to Paul, in short time, you will persuade me to become a Christian. Parang tinatanong niya, are you asking me to convert in Christian? And on the third instance, during the early persecution in 1 Peter 4:16, Peter was encouraging the Christians to be willing to suffer persecution in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So makikita po natin sa three instances na to, followers of Christ has been called Christians. They were called Christians because of the person they are following with or they are living with. Parang sa atin, sa Pilipinas, di ba? If you are following Vilma, you will be called Vilmanians. Si Ate Sara, may mall dito, Noranyan yan. Noranyan yan. Vilmanians ako. So, na-identify ang mga tao, people are identified to the person who they are following with or their lives is living with. So for example, in Antioch, what do we think? Why followers of Christ has been called Christians? They don't have idea of the Christians, of the name who will be called, but they call them Christians. Because these people, nakita nila, they observe that these people, these disciples, are living the same as with Jesus Christ. Kung paano namumuhay ang ating Panginoon, kung paano siya kumikilos, these persons are imitating Him. So they were called Christians. So sa Pilipinas may pamangkin ako na Sharonians. So sa Sharon, medyo siya, half sister, half brother. Kasi siya, tapos sa kanya ng kapatid niya, half sister, minsan half brother. So, ganun kasi yun. So, Sharonians, so from Bataan, he will travel to Cebu just to witness the concert of Sharon. Nagpatubo siya ng bangs. Bangs dito. Kasi during that time, panahon ni Kuya Vince, si Sharon may bangs pa. Panahon ni Kuya Vince. So, he is a follower of Sharon. So, pati mga awit niya, mga bituin walang ningning, ganun ba? Lahat ng kilos ni Sharon, he even campaign for her husband, si Kiko. So this guy was identified as Sharonian because he followed Sharon. So the person in Antioch or King Agrippa noted that these people following Jesus Christ identified these people as Christians because they are following Christ. They live, they act, they behave like Christ. Ginagaya nila si Kristo. So but nowadays, being Christian is just a religion. Being Christian is just identity. Diba? Parang parang tawag dito, parang affiliation na lang without reference to the way they live their lives. Parang Christian ka? Hindi halata. Christian ka pala. So in our CV, makikita natin sa ating curriculum vitae, sa CV natin, religion, Christian. But take note, being Christian is following Christ, imitating Christ, living the way Christ lived. Sabi nga ni Mahatma Gandhi during March 2011 in the article, sabi niya, he said to the Christian missionary, sabi niya, I like your Christ, I do not like your Christian. Sabi niya, I like your Christ, but I do not like your Christians. Sabi niya, your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Sabi niya, gusto ko si Christ, but I do not like his followers. Kasi these Christians are so unlike Christ. Hindi sila namumuhay o hindi nila ina-idolize si Christ. So this Mahatma Gandhi is a Hindu activist. Sabi nga. So it's a very very shameful to us Christians saying that I like Christ, but I do not like your Christians. Because your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Hindi natin ma-identity na tayo Christian, di ba? Kasi nga sabi natin, Christian ka pala. So take note po mga kapatid, if you will use the word Christian, make sure that you are a truly follower or a disciple of Christ. Because we are the ambassador of Jesus Christ here in the earth. So, who is a disciple? A disciple is a Christian, a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. Sabi dito, so let us illustrate the deceived who will be rejected by the Lord in the last day. So, the Lord Jesus Christ will reject the deceived one at the end times. In Matthew 7:15 to 25, watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from the thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but bad tree bears bad fruit. Sabi doon, be careful of the false prophet. They are wearing white, but inside they are wolves. So maybe they are wearing parang ang bait-bait, parang napakahinhin, parang napaka-gentleman, but in his inner heart, he is a wolf. So by his fruit, we will recognize him. So by this fruit of this person, we will recognize him. He is really a follower of Jesus Christ, or if he is really a disciple or a disciple. Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So every tree that will not bear good fruit, he will be cast down and thrown into the fire. So alam po natin ang ibig sabihin yun, di ba? Thus, by their fruit, you will recognize them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of the Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did not we prophesy in your name? In your name drive out demons and perform many miracles? Then the Lord will say, then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evil doers. So ganun din sa atin, no, mga followers per se, that we are pretending to be a good tree, but even though we are a bad tree, we are pretending to be wearing bad tree. So we remember that a bad tree will never bear good fruits. So we are just pretending. Then we will say, di ba Lord, did we not preach your word? Sabi natin, di ba? At the end times, sabihin ng mga pastors, preachers, did we not preach your word? Ito nga topic namin, discipleship, yung time na yun. Sabi na, Lord, di ba present ako nung time na yun? Ito nga topic namin, discipleship eh. Then, Lord, di ba present ako every prayer meeting? Every Bible study? I am present. Asipag ko nga eh. Di ba Lord? Sabi nga, then the Lord will say, get away, I never knew you. This is the hardest or the shameful or the pinakamasakit na maririnig natin na sabihin ng Panginoon na get away, I never knew you. Why? Because when we pray, when we intercede, we glorify our name, ourselves, we magnify ourselves that the Lord Jesus Christ, the glory, inaangkin natin. When we say, Lord, di ba sa intercessory prayer meeting, we pray for the cancer victim. Napagaling nga sila eh. Galing ko nga mag-pray eh. Kaya sa prayer ko, because of my prayer, this guy was healed. So it was your prayer, not the God's healing power. It is you who is exalted. Sabi mo sa Lord. Di ba, Lord? I pray for, di ba, sa intercessors. Pinagpray nga namin ng compost, lagi kasi nag-aaway. Focus kami pinag-pray. Nagkasunod nila sila dahil sa prayer namin. Then one time nga may experience kami ganun. Sabi ng wife ko, did I ask for your prayer? sabi ng wife ko sa kapatid. Because why? Because the prayer turns to be gossip. Parang instead na ipag-pray ka, naging gossip kasi at the middle of the couples, broadcast mo yung personal problems ng mag-asawa. Oh, Lord, let us pray for Kuya Gilbert. And natin, sama pala mag-gas Kuya Gilbert. Si ate naman kasi, nag-asawa ng gwapo ngayon, magseselos. Hindi mo makakasawa. Nag-asawa ka ng gwapo ngayon, magseselos ka. Lagi nag-aaway. So, instead of prayer, it becomes parang pinagpiestahan yung buhay ng magkapatid. We understand the concern, but it should be a very, very personal prayer. Sa atin nga, di ba sa atin sa intercessory prayer meeting, you should be careful. When someone asks you a personal prayer, ask first the permission of the guy. Will I send this to the group or not? If you say yes, yes. But if you send it in the group, make sure it is only in the group. Do not scatter it. Do not broadcast it in Arab news. Or sa lahat, di ba? Yun lang yung personal kasi yun eh. Or if you said no, pray it in your room personally. Ganun yun. So, sabi nga, Lord, di ba present ako sa Bible study? Always, every Monday sa Alvara, yan, every Saturday sa Moda, every Thursday sa Pursa, present ako. Ako nga nagtuturo eh. Then the Lord said, no, I never knew you. Why? Because you are not practicing what you are teaching. Hindi mo pinapractice kung ano yung tinuturo mo. Nanggagaling lang sa'yo yung teachings, parang ikaw lang na glorify, na mamaglify, pero not the Lord. Because outside this Bible study, who are you? Who are you inside the church and who are you outside the church? Lord, di ba present ako sa every worship service? Who are you outside the church and who are you inside the church? I never knew you. The Lord would say. Lord, di ba nakinig ako? So sabi ng ating Panginoon, the true disciples are the one who hear the words and doers of the word. You will not just hear it, you have to do it. So So, sa pag-Bible study natin, hindi lang tayo basta-basta nag-aaral doon. Hindi lang tayo basta-basta nakikinig doon. We have to do what we have learned from the Lord Jesus Christ. We have to practice what we have learned, what the Lord Jesus Christ has taught us during that Bible study. Otherwise, we are just wasting our time. Nagsasayang na tayo ng panahon. Nagsasayang na tayo ng gasolina, ng food. Nagsasayang tayo kasi there's no fruit. Walang fruit na nakikita. So every Bible study, every worship services, every prayer meetings, the disciple should bear fruits. Dapat nakikita ang bunga sa kanyang buhay bilang Kristiyano. Remember that we are Christians. We are carrying the name of Christ. Christians. Parang Bilmanians, they are carrying the name of Bilma. Walang himala. Mura yun. Mura yun. So, the disciple is committed to the Lord Jesus Christ. In Matthew 16:24, so Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So, you want to be a disciple, you must deny yourself and take up your cross. Sa Luke, mas malalim, sa Luke 14:26-27, if you want to be a disciple, you have to hate your mother, your father, your loved ones, and even yourself. Sabi this sa Luke 14:26-27, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciples. Does God wants you to hate your mother, your loved ones? No. It is not the meaning of this. The meaning is, if you love them more than Christ, more than God, then you cannot be His disciple. God, family, church. Diba? So, if your priority, your Habibi time, Charlie. So if your priority, God doesn't want, sabi niya, hindi ito literal na to hate your loved ones, of course. Hindi ito literal. God just want him to be a priority. First, love God first above all. Diba? So kung yung family member mo ang magiging hindrance, if your family member will be the hindrance or the hindrance to follow Jesus Christ, you know what to do. If your family, if your wife sometimes, if your husband will be the cause or will be the reason that you will be out of Christ, then you know what to do. Sabi dito kasi, if you want to be a disciple, you have to hate your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your loved ones, even your wife, even yourself. Sabi dito. So, ang disciple pala, ang priority mo, ang Panginoong Hesus. Sabi dito, so, Jesus Christ wants to love Jesus far more than our family members and even ourselves. For example, this is what means to love Jesus more than anyone. Sabi dito, yan, during Habibi time, di ba? Dito, over fellowship, yan, sabi na, over fellowship na, mga instances na ganun. Your father or your Habibi is asking you not to attend. Sometimes, your wife will ask you, do not attend in that worship service. Mag-chat na lang tayo. Di ba? Let us do chatting better than attending the worship service. So, in the worship service, in exchange of something else. So, personally, we experienced this during that time when I was, tawag dito yung, paribalentong, bilang Kristiyano, may Christian, do not attend there. We are not Christians. She always used to say this when I was in other church. Sabi nga, tate, you will be wasting your time. They are not truly Christians. I don't care about these people. I care about Christ. I care about our relationship with God. So, nung time na yun, bari-barinto pa ako nung tatayo, babangon. Ate, kung gusto, kung ayaw, tutulog. Kung ayaw, makipag-chat. Yan ang time na yun. So, if your loved ones will be the hindrance to come to Jesus Christ, then you know what to do. You know who is your priority. God doesn't want you to hate your mother, but you know your priority. So, Jesus does not ask for more than He gave. What He did in the cross. What did the cross mean to Him? Bearing our own cross. Ano ba yung meaning ng let us bear our own cross? It means suffering, obedience, self-denial, dying into ourselves. So, following Jesus Christ, we should deny ourselves. Ibig sabihin, we should kakalimutan ang BS nga natin kahapon, ang our BS yesterday night, unless the seeds of the mustard, tagalogin ko na lang, hirapan ako.
Green.
Unless ang buto ng mustasa ng trigo ay hindi mamatay at maibaw, hindi siya magbubunga muli. Unless you died in your own, hindi ka magbubunga. Unless the old dito will die and born again, he will not bear fruit. Kailangan mo mamatay sa sarili mo. Yung dating, yung old dito, dapat mamatay yan, mawala at maborn again sa panibagong dito na binibigay ng Panginoong Isus sa atin. Dito will not bear fruit. You call yourself Christian, but you are not dying to yourself. You are not a Christian. You are just a religious guy or person. Relihiyoso ka lang. Nagsisimba ka lang. Tawag doon, relihiyoso ka lang. You are just a religious. Religious means frequently ginagawa mo yung bagay na yun. Parang nakaprogram ka lang to attend the service. Oh, every Friday I will go there, but there's no fruit. You are not dying to yourself. You are not denying yourself. Then you per se, you will not be a follower of Christ unless you die to yourself and be a new creation, let us say. So, a follower of Christ should deny himself, should forget about his comfort zone, should forget what he is. Yun pala yung follower of Christ. An example for this is, halimbawa, how we die into ourselves and die to the world. So for example, somebody hurts us. Hinampas tayo ng baso. Hinampas tayo ng baso, next time, palitan mo ng baso ng plastic para hindi masakit. Diba? Palitan mo ng plastic, disposable. So sometimes, someone hurts us. Sinaktan tayo. The old Charlie or the old Lito, what will be in his mind is a revenge, bitterness. So how we spend our time and effort before, we are busy on our career. So how we die into ourselves before we spend our time before. Where are we spending our time and effort as a old creation? We spend our time and effort to acquire wealth, position, fame. Di ba dati ganun tayo? Overtime, sidelines. Di ba ganun tayo dati? They are all our priorities. Dahil we are focusing on the wealth, on the position, on the fame. Ganun tayo dati. Once we die into ourselves, this ego will be replaced by humbleness. It will be replaced. So once we died and we live for Christ, we spend our times and effort to please God, di ba? Ngayon, instead na nasa overtime tayo ngayon, instead na nasa sideline tayo ngayon, instead of being in bata, instead of being in shopping, we are here pleasing our God. We are here worshiping our God. For without faith, we cannot please God. Sabi sa Hebrew 11:6. So, yun po yung denying yourselves or dying into yourselves. Papalitan mo yung dati mong pagkatao into Christ-like, into please God. Sabi dito, being a disciple, however, does not mean one is perfect. So, being a disciple does not mean you are perfect. You know, Peter, he is a disciple, but he denied Jesus Christ 3 times. And then he repented, and he began to scatter the word of God. So, Peter is not a perfect. He denied Jesus Christ 3 times. Thomas, he was a disciple, he's a disciple, and yet he doubt. Diba? Nag-doubt siya. So he's not a perfect. And then after that, he scattered the word. And then also, another disciple, the famous is Paul. Paul was a Christian persecutor. Before he became Paul, he was Saul. So Saul, during that time, he was a persecutor. He is killing Christians. He is persecuting Christians. So, galit na galit siya sa Kristiyano because Paul is a Pharisee. He know the law. He know the law of Moses. He know the law of Jew. And he is thinking that he is serving God by persecuting Christians. That is what he know. But when he met Jesus Christ going to Damascus, then he was changed. Then he is the follower of Jesus Christ. So, being a disciple, however, does not mean one is perfect. Hindi tayo perfect. And God knows. But we are going to perfection. So yes, little by little, unti-unti, by the glory of God, we will be in the perfection. Sabi dito, so a disciple is committed to the Lord Jesus Christ. So let us illustrate the levels of commitment. So as a disciple of Jesus Christ, you must be committed to the Lord Jesus Christ. So in Mark 4:13 to 20, the parable of the seed. We know it. We are familiar with the parable of the seed. There are 4 types of seeds. The one is thrown into the road, to the rocky, to the thorny, and to the good soil. So dito, there are different levels of commitment for one who believes. Of the 4 kinds of soil, only one rejects the word. So alam natin na for the 4 kinds of seeds, only one rejected the word, the one who is thrown on the road. The other 3 accept it. So let us study the 3 who accept the word. So the rocky, or yung mapato, the rocky soil accepts it emotionally and mentally, only to give up quickly when persecution comes. He did not allow the word to take the root in his life. So di ba? So yung mga Kristiyano have been shared with the word in a rocky soil. So when it comes to persecutions, umalis. Ibig sabihin, trials. Halimbawa, for example, Pastor, inaano ka, pinay-persecute ka. Pastor, attendis ka lang, someone will mock you, parang hihiyain ka, parang iano ka into shame. Di ba, naranasan natin yan, di ba? When we are here, first time we attend, people outside will call you pastor, will call you binubuli ka, di ba? Binubuli ka, di ba? You are being bullied. We experience this. Sasabihin nila, baka lumagpas ka sa langit. Sabihin nila, di ba? You might be So, baka lumagpak sa langit. So, these people, because they were in the rocky soil, they accept the word emotionally, excited. But when the persecution comes, nawala ng trabaho, nagkaroon ng family problems, nagkaroon ng trials, then they umalis sila sa word. Basahin nga natin, sabi dito, Mark 4:13-20. Then Jesus said to them, "Don't you understand this parable? How then will you understand any parable? The farmer sows the word. Some people are like seed along the path, where the word is sown. As soon as they hear it, Satan comes and takes away the word that was sown in them." Ito yung mga hindi tumanggap ng salita. Others, like the seed sown on rocky places, hear the word and once receive it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fade away, fall away. So ito yung mga kapatid natin na they accept it, they are excited, but when trials comes, when persecution comes, masalama, they fall away. Still others, like seed sown among the thorns, hear the word, but the worries of this life, the deceitfulness of wealth, and the desires of other things come and choke the word, making it unfruitful. So the third was thrown in the thorny. He accepted it with joy, mentally, emotionally, and even faith groups. Nagkaroon ng ugat siya. Kaya lang, because he did not clean up his life of his other worldly interests, they competed with faith and choked the word so that he did not bear fruit. So, tinanggap niya, kaya lang hindi niya maiwan. He did not die into his self. Hindi niya maiwan yung dati niyang gawa. Yung dati niyang gawa, nandun pa rin, pero he accepted the word. He lived with the word. He stayed with the Lord, with the word. So, when parang nung dumating ang trials or yung temptations, naging busy ka sa trabaho, sa pagpapayaman, sa overtime. This worldly things choke with the word. Naharang niya ang salita. And then, he fall away. So, sa atin, di ba? Ito ang pinaka sa atin. And this is very prominent in Christians. They are here, they are always here. When the prayer is answered, please, Lord, give me a car. When the car has been granted, you will never see them here. They are in other places. They are in Bata. They are busy in other. So once your prayer request has been granted, please do not forget the one who gave you, Amen. Who granted you this blessing. Amen. Sabi nga ng Panginoon, di ba, may 10, there are 10 leprosy. They pray for the healing of the Lord, for the Lord Jesus Christ. Then all of them will heal, but only one comes to say thank you. So this is what happens to the people who learn but who obey the word selectively. They are just selecting what they want to hear. Nabasa ng Biblia. Arrogant. Wag to. Ito. Ito. I shall not leave you nor forsake you. Ito. I am the Lord your God provider. Adultery. Wag yan. Adultery. Thou shall not drunkard. Wag yan. Wag yan. Bible to. Pinipili lang yung verse na gusto. Yung mag-fit lang sa kanya. So these are the people who are selectively. So when the trials, when the temptation comes, they are very weak. Kasi hindi sila nabubugbog ng salita. Remember that in 2 Timothy 3:16, this word is used to teach, to to teach, to rebuke. 2 Timothy 3:16. To teach, to rebuke, and to correct.
First Timothy.
First. Second. Yeah. Second. So all Scripture is inspired by God. So this is inspired by God. In other translation, it is God breathed. Ibig sabihin ng God breathed, hiningahan ng Diyos. Ibig sabihin ng hiningahan ng Diyos may buhay. This word has life. This word has life and profitable for teaching, reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness. So, hindi ka dapat selective. Pag nagbabasa ka ng Biblia, adultery, thou shalt not commit adultery. Wag yan, pangit yan. Thou shall be... Dapat ano ka? Whatever the message for you in that time, accept it as the Lord speaks to you.
Amen.
Yeah? Some people are saying, Lord speaks to me, but they are not reading the Bible. How can the Lord speaks to you and yet you are not reading the Bible? God already speaks through His Bible. On the later age, God speaks through His prophet. But now, God speaks through His Son, Jesus Christ. And all has been written in the Bible. So, amen? So, being a Christian, you should not be a selective. Otherwise, when the temptation comes, when the trial comes, you will fail. Maiiwan ka. Your commitment will be lost. So, and the fourth one, the fourth seeds, the good soil is the only one who ends up fruitful in faith. Diba? Naitanim siya sa mabuting lupa. This is because when he hears the word, he accepts it, meaning he obeys it and removes everything that hinders him from obeying it. Nothing in his life chokes the word out of the fruitfulness. So, nung tinanggap niya ang salita, iniwan niya, he denied himself, iniwan niya yung mga bagay, he forget everything that will hinder him from following Jesus Christ. He parang sinurrender niya, he surrender everything to Jesus Christ. And this is a Christian or a follower of Christ or a disciple who is a successful follower of Christ. The one who deny himself. Kasi kung susunod ka sa bilang Kristiyano and you will not, hindi mo maiiwan ang dati mong gawin, you will fail. You will fail. Amen? So, so let us illustrate the cost of following the Lord Jesus Christ. So what is the cost of following Jesus Christ? Following Jesus Christ is not that easy. Hindi po madali ang pagsunod sa Panginoon Jesus. Sa Matthew 8:18 to 20, sabi doon, now when Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to depart to the other side of the sea. Then a scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus said to him, the foxes have holes, the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man is nowhere to lay his head. Sabi nito to, yung mga foxes may bahay, ang mga birds may bugad, but the Son of Man malaman lang unan. So following Jesus Christ is not that easy. So everyone who professes faith of the Lord Jesus Christ must decide what kind of believer he will be. So you should leave your comfort zone. If you will follow Jesus Christ, you should forget your comfort zone. Sabi doon. So, di ba, may mga missionaries tayo, we have missionaries. When they do the missions in the mountains, they just eat some kamote. But the missionaries in the city, they eat in Jollibee. So, both are serving the Lord. So, if this missionary is transferred to this mountain, he will not serve? No, he should serve. Tawag dito, you should leave your your comfort zone as a follower of Christ. It's not that easy, but it is fruitful at the end of your life. So, sabi ng iba, hindi ako sasakay dyan, walang aircon, ang kotse. Di ba? Hindi ako sasakay dyan kasi walang aircon, hindi ako sasama sa church, walang AC sa church. So, as parang napakaliit ng problema, hindi na tayo nag-attend sa church. Hindi ako attend dyan kasi malikabok. Let us remember the rich man, sabi niya, Lord, I almost obey all commandments, the 10 commandments, everything. Love your God with all your heart, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit murder, thou shalt not anything. Sabi ng Panginoon, sabi niya, what else will I do to follow you? Sabi ng Panginoon, sell all your properties and follow me. Parang ibenta mo lahat ng ari-arian mo at sumunod ka sa akin. Then the rich man, nasad, nalungkot. Diba? Kasi hindi niya kaya kasi his heart is in these material things. Sabi ng Panginoon, where your treasure is, there your heart is. Nasaan ang kayamanan mo, nandun ang puso mo. We cannot follow Christ if we will not deny ourselves. Sabi dito, so this is the cost of following Jesus Christ. So sabi niya, the foxes have holes. So buti pa yung mga foxes sa bibibahay. The birds may pugad. But the Son of Man, wala man lang unan. Sabi, mahirap. Hindi komportable ang pagsunod sa Panginoon. So thirdly, a disciple is a seeker of the Lord Jesus Christ. So ang disciple daw po is a seeker of the Lord Jesus Christ. Lastly, a disciple is a believer who seeks to know Christ at all costs. He seeks to know Christ at all costs. He is willing to give up everything in exchange of knowing Christ. You have to give up everything in exchange of knowing Christ. Not only in blessing, but even in suffering as well. In reality, there is no real knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ unless we are willing to enter into the fellowship of His sufferings as well. This is no mistakenly what the Apostle Paul means here. So in Philippians 3:7-11, this let us read how Paul, at the attitude of Paul about winning and losing sa Philippians Philippians 3:7-11. Try ko dito. Sa 7, but whatever was to my profit, I now consider loss for the sake of Christ. What is more, I consider everything a loss compared to the surpassing greatness of knowledge of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, for whose sake I have lost things. Kanina po yan, no? For whatever was my profit now, I consider loss for the sake of Christ. So yung mga material things, yung mga losses na yan, ni Paul, he consider is losing and winning. It's hard sometimes losing things. Sabi, diba? Houses, tayo, diba? Jobs, future, our friends, our freedom, minsan our eyesight, minsan yung buhok natin, mawawala na yan, diba? Even our loved ones.
Amen.
So many things we don't want to give up. We need to see bigger picture, diba? Sometimes they will be lost, but we need to see the bigger picture. Sabi ni Paul, sabi niya, but what was to my profit I now consider loss for the sake of Christ. What is more, I consider everything a loss compared to surpassing greatness of knowing Christ. It is nothing compared to the surpassing greatness of the Lord Jesus Christ. These things are nothing. These losses are nothing compared to the gain you will have in Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Sabi ni Apostle Paul, sabi dito, we lost everything, but we gain everything so much more because of Christ. We may lost sometimes our jobs, but we we gain more. We gain everything so much more because of Christ. Everything that we lost are just rubbish compared to the gain we had for winning with Christ. Everything that we have lost, sabi ni Paul, everything that he has lost, it is just rubbish. It is just a garbage. Comparing to the for winning with Christ, comparing to Christ that will give us material things, wala yan, rubbish yan. Wala yan. Comparing, kasi sometimes you have to give up everything just to follow Christ. Sabi nga ng sa mayaman, di ba? Sabi niya sa mayaman, sell all your belongings, all your properties, and give it to the poor, and follow me. Di ba sabi niya? And Paul said, everything that we lost are just rubbish compared to the gain we had for winning with Christ. Compared to Christ will give us. What Christ will give us? Eternal life. Amen. So these are all rubbish. These are all incomparable with what the gain we can have with Jesus Christ, of winning Jesus Christ. Compared to knowing Him, we know that someday our loss will be found in Christ. So someday our loss will be found in Jesus Christ. Every choice we make that brings us closer to Him is an overall gain. No matter what it feels like we've lost, it's definitely not always fun. But as we focus on Christ and talk to Him about our lives, we will learn more and understand more and able to overcome even the greatest challenges. Sabi dito, because of the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ, this is our gain. So we are hoping that as Jesus Christ resurrected, the same thing will happen to us. And this is our gain. This is the eternal life that Jesus
Amen.
Christ has promised to us.
Amen.
Forget everything. You can deny yourself. You can you can consider these losses are just rubbish comparing to the greatness, compassion that the Lord Jesus Christ will give us at the end. Sabi nga, we have our own crown of glory. Sabi nga, sa maliit na bagay na ibinigay mo sa iyong kapwa, there is a katapat na glory. Sabi nga, we will be judged according to our deeds. Diba? Every one of us will face the judgment seat of Christ. And we will be judged according to what we did. So, we must know Him in the power of His resurrection, and we must know Him in the fellowship of His suffering. And then we will obtain His resurrection from the dead. So, this is our main objective, to attain to His resurrection from the dead. And even us will be resurrected at the end of our life. So, mga kapatid, before we end up this message, let me summarize. A disciple is a Christian, a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. So this is the disciple. He is a Christian, and a Christian and a follower of Christ. So a disciple is a Christian, but they are all followers of Jesus Christ. We know Christians because we live as Christ lived, the way Christ lived. So we have been identified as Christians because we live the way Christ lived. The disciple is committed to the Lord Jesus Christ. We are committed to the Lord Jesus Christ. We are naitanim tayo sa mabuting binhi, mabuting lupa. So we cast down all our worries. Before we deny ourselves. We love Jesus Christ, our God, more than anyone else, and we are committed to follow Him. A disciple is a seeker of the Lord Jesus Christ in Philippians 3:7-11. So mga kapatid, before we end up, I will just read the conclusion. Disciple and Christian, Christian and disciple. This is what every believer should be. It means following the Lord Jesus Christ, seeking after Him, and giving up everything just to know Him. Giving up everything just to know Him. Such a believer will surely discover the true blessings that come with being a follower of Christ. This is the only type of Christianity acceptable to the Lord. Everything else is just a poor substitute.